This is Right Side Trader. Today is June 30th, 2026, and this is the quick trade for the week. This is all for educational purposes only, no trade recommendation, because as we all know, trading is risky. You can lose money at trading, so please check with your financial advisor. Please check with your significant other and make sure trading is something that is suitable for you. This is not a trade recommendation. This is something that I'm trying to show one person out there that with using $30,000 or less, we can make $1,000 a month very easily, and all. So that's it. And you can make it every day, but just once a month. Nothing crazy, and all for them. Their beliefs are not maybe there yet. Not like mine's, and all. So that's enough of that. But the trade for today, for this week, again, every week I'm gonna be doing an SPX trade. That's my bread and butter trade. And what I did that this morning in this virtual account, and also do them every day in my live account, and all. But the virtual account trade that I'm doing is a spread trade. A spread trade is a very risk-defined trade is what I want to do, and I like using less than half of the $30,000 account to do the trade. And I'm usually doing a 5 wide, which is a $5,000 maximum risk on that trade, minus the credit that you actually receive. So that's the trade I'll be doing, once a week in that account. The other trade that I want to be doing when I'm doing these trades is some stock, any kind of random stock. I'm not getting into the details of selecting stock and why I go over why I selected the particular stock that I selected. I give you some kind of background on that, but it's not really my real stars align type criteria that I use for selecting stock. So I'm just letting you know that right up front. I'm usually just selecting something that somebody told me about, and I usually say, I don't know, I don't think it's ready for me. That's usually the case. Like I said, on the SoFi one that I did, that was something I've been holding in this account for quite some time, and I decided to go ahead and trade it because it started looking like it was kind of interesting. The other one that I traded was a MARA, because people were talking about Bitcoin or something, and it's a Bitcoin related type stock. And again, it looked okay, but it ended up giving us problems. So let's go ahead and I'll show you the trade that I did. My SPX. Let's look at the SPX trade first of all. SPX trade is always, I'm gonna be trading one side 5 wide, 0.2 delta, 0-day options on that particular trade. That's what I'm gonna be doing. So let's take a quick look and see. I'll show you what I did this morning. You can see around the time that I did it, right after 10 o'clock Eastern time it is. I did a spread trade. This 74.30, 74.25. I ended up receiving an 80-cent credit, and it ended up closing for 40 cents. I usually want to take 50% of the credit that I actually received and be done with it. That's usually pretty easy to do at that delta and at that time of the day. So that was that trade. Now the MARA trade, and I had to end up rolling it, and what they call a roll. And I did and they probably call it a diagonal. That's a diagonal. And because I ended up going further out, because what I wanted to do, I wanted to, what I'm looking at here, I'm looking at this right here, and I'll erase that again. That's what I'm looking at. I was at a 1650 strike. I wanted to start doing what I normally would do if I was actually trading this lot. I wanted to get it down, and so I could only get it down to a 16 strike, and I had to move it all the way out to August. So that means I won't be touching this thing for another couple of weeks or so, or maybe another month or so. And my goal is to get this thing back above $16. And my drop dead price is right now, if I get a close on the daily chart below $13, I'm gonna have to just close everything and see what kind of loss I have at that time. But right now I received 80-cent credit the first time. The first roll I only received 7 cents, and on this roll I only received 25 cents. So again, it gets where you're not making a lot of money on these things. You're kind of getting a little bit of credit now after you usually got into these things, and that's the problem with them and all. When you do it the way I did it, which was a big mistake, trying to sell this thing in the money at the beginning. I should have been selling it at a point, somewhere below the market, and just again, I'm supposed to be getting just a little bit of credit and all anyway, trying to just $250 a week or less, $250 a week at, on these type of trades. But I got greedy, and that's what happens. I'm showing you what can happen and all, and this is what a lot of traders end up doing. This is not. I do not have this in my live account. I have not traded this thing at all, and I have not traded SoFi at all. So let's just let you know, these are not things that I trade and all. period, and all. But I'm just doing it because people talk about it. And they act like it's such a great trade. You need to do this trade. You need to do this trade. And usually I say, it's just not for me, and that's it. So now let's take a quick look at the SPX trade. Is kind of like a no-brainer trade. We see there's these 0-day options. This is what I did. Now let's take a quick look at the chart, and I'll show you why the MARA thing, what it's looking like. SPX trade, again, bullish. Take it. Credit spread on the bottom side. Don't get on that call. Don't get in front of that train. That's the whole thing. The way that kind of works for me, and that's the way I look at it. And that's why I'm only doing one side. Let me erase that stuff up now in the MARA trade. This thing right here, we're looking at a daily chart. My pivots, I usually always have my pivots on here. It's one of the things that I do and stuff. These probably are weekly pivots. This is a daily chart. These are weekly pivots and stuff. We're early in the week. This thing dropped down, and I sold it way up here, 1650, and I'm down below 1550. It was kind of like a previous week that I actually did this thing. When this thing, I saw that Monday morning was way up here. Me and my whole bullish mindset in this thing is in an uptrend, so it's kind of like it met one of my criterias, and that's all I really was looking at. It was in an uptrend. I expected to continue going up, and I was kind of okay with that. But it ended up, that was kind of like that one of those final push ups, I call it sometime, and it went right into a supply area and all. So I really should have waited for a confirmation above that before actually doing that, or selling somewhere down below it and seeing what kind of credit that I got. Volatility was probably pretty high that day and would have been okay, so even selling somewhere below that. So right now, where it's at, around 13, and I say 13 is kind of like my drop dead number, it's right at the point where it is the demand level or support level that you would expect. So that's why, again, once it gets down there, I'm saying I should be out of it, but that's the place normally you should be getting into this trade, or that's where I should have sold that at the beginning. But again, with the options, it probably wasn't that much credit there. And again, we do get greedy, and that's probably what was happening to me at the time, So what I ended up doing, that was the chart, and what we're looking at, I was just able to roll it down like 50 cents, as you saw on the trade itself. Let's go back over to that. I had an option that was going to expire come Thursday. I ended up had to roll it out 50-something days. That's a long time in my world. But I ended up getting a 25-cent credit. 25-cent credit with 10 contracts is $250. It's 100 times 10, another over that'll give you $250 that I actually collected on that trade. So now the thing is, I still need this thing to get back above $16 now and close above 16 in order for this to be a good trade and be done with it. Or, since I only received 25-cent credit, I have to close this thing for less than 25 cents and all. So again, that's why I say you can get where you're stuck in these things for quite some time and all, and you have to be very careful. I can try to add up all the other credits that I received, but it was only like an 80-cent credit, a 7-cent credit, or something like that, a very small credit. So again, that's getting close. That's a little bit over $1 now, that I got onto this thing. So I can say, I can let this thing go down to $15 and it'll be a break even for me, and be okay with it. But I'm looking at stopping out of this thing at $13, even $2 below that. And if you've been following me, $2 is a big number with me. It's my maximum, kind of like my maximum loss. If I end up getting a loss on anything, my $2 tends to follow me. But that's pretty much it. That's pretty much all I did today with this particular trade that I'm actually doing. So, and that's where I'm at. And it's going to come to the point where I'm not going to be doing much with this MARA thing too much more, since it's so far out in time. I'm going to just be monitoring it more so than anything. And every week I'll be doing these 0-day options, doing this credit spread trade. It may be call, it may be put, based on where the market is at. And this trade alone, as you can see, it collected $400 a day. And I'll do a spreadsheet to show you what I've done with this in the past other couple of weeks for this month, and show you this trade alone will make you $1,000 a month. And that's it. That's all I really want to share at this time. This is a Right Side Trader. Hope this is helpful for some, at least for one that's out there. I hope they're looking at it and watching and trying to understand what I'm doing and what I can do with the $30,000, and not even using all of it, but it can generate a pretty good little income, and I'm pretty confident that could be done. This is a Right Side Trader. Hope this has been helpful for one, and I'll talk to you guys next week. Catch my market review, subscribe, like, and let me know what you think about something like this. And if you have anything else that you would like me to look at, just kind of like give me a ping and let me know. And I'll talk to you guys later. Have a good one. Bye.